Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, but probably just gentlemen. Actually, I've looked at the analytics. Welcome, gentlemen, to the Granite Mountain Movie Club. Um, at the last minute, we had a movie we're going to talk about, um, but some of our guests couldn't make it. So I got Cool Fraser here, and we're just going to talk about some movie stuff, just random stuff. We'll take some questions from fans. Um, so yeah, it's just gonna be kind of chill. Stick
But
around,
it's also suspenseful.
Yeah,
There's big surprises at the end, so you have to stay to the end.
yeah. There's gonna be a big surprise at the end. Um, it's gonna be
And
huge.
suspense throughout.
Suspense. Yeah, there'll be a surprise in like every couple minutes. Um, but these episodes are fun. We actually haven't. We, you know, last year we did a handful of episodes that were just kind of like, just random stuff, and there's a totally different flavor, but they're fun. It's where a lot of some good like jokes and stuff come out of these things. So stick around. So I put out this thing for questions. I actually got some good questions pretty quick.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna start dropping them. One question, I actually don't know how to. I always just call her Sanipa, but I don't know what.
Yeah,
Um,
Sneepa. That's what
Sneepa.
we call it.
Sneepa asks what we think about River Runs Through It. I have thoughts, but I'll
Um,
let you go first if you have thoughts.
yeah, I watched it when I was like 6, and it was like I always remember my parents were like, "Let's watch A River Runs Through It," and
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember the movie anymore.
So, yes, it's definitely a parents' movie. It's definitely like it's very much a parents would say, "Let's watch this movie." Uh, I think it's a beautiful movie. It's
Wait, can I guess what the plot is from my 6-year-old memory?
Yeah, go for it.
I remembered Brad Pitt was in it. So Brad
Yes.
Pitt has to go on a rafting trip to save the town.
Uh,
And
keep
then
going.
he
Keep
like
going.
runs into like wildlife and like some bandits and stuff, and then like at the end he learns that like the river really does run through it.
Yeah, pretty close. So it's not. No, he doesn't have to do it. I don't think he has to do any serious nature quest. It's just if from what I remember, and I have seen this within the last 10 years, but I don't actually remember it super well. But the uh, I remember it being a beautiful movie. It's about fatherhood and brotherhood. They have like their dad, I think, is a reverend. I think they're in Montana, and he's like, he's a early 1900s reverend. He's strict and stuff, and he's like has high expectations for his sons. And I think maybe it's like a prodigal son sort of thing, where one of the brothers is sort of a screw up, and Brad Pitt might actually be the good brother. I can't remember. Anyway, the big part of their family is fly fishing. It's like where their dad like imparts like wisdom and stuff. And it's one of those
So there's
90s.
no rafting scene.
There might be. I mean,
Okay.
they're in rivers a lot, but they're mostly
There
fly fishing.
I vividly recall a raft being in this movie.
Maybe you were thinking of
Yeah, I just read the plot of River Runs Through It, and it's definitely not what I said.
yeah, the River Wild. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
That might be it. That might be it.
I remember the River Wild, and I think that's like a guy.
Yeah, 94. And there's a
No, yeah,
raft.
River Runs Through It is like a kind of like a coming of age, growing up story, coming to reckoning with your dad and stuff like that.
They both take place in Montana.
Okay, but and I keep coming back to this word beautiful. It's beautiful scenery. It's got beautiful music. It's like it's a little sappy and stuff. You got Brad Pitt and Tom Skerritt and stuff. So it's a I think it's pretty good.
Would you say more or less beautiful than Black Robe?
I still haven't watched Black Robe,
You haven't watched Black Robe?
but it's probably on. It's probably right up there with Black Robe. Robert Redford directed it, so back when
So
he still had a lot of juice.
Yeah, he did have a lot of juice back in the day.
His juice levels were overflowing back then.
He's definitely been over squeezed at this
Yeah,
point.
he really has actually. I mean, what's Robert Redford done lately, right?
He's drying up like a raisin.
Yeah, he's trying up. He's probably like 94, but
um, so it's a fast-paced thriller in which a young family on a whitewater rafting adventure in Montana are taken hostage by a pair of dangerous fugitives. See, that's
yeah,
the movie I was
that's
thinking.
what you were thinking. You're thinking of that. That's the River Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's your answer, Sanipa. Go watch
Yeah,
The River
watch The
Wild.
River Wild. Kevin Bacon.
Redford's 86, by the way.
I'll allow it.
Okay, next question. This is from Extra Dead JCB. Never heard of him. He says favorite love scene. I actually have an answer for this. I bet he.
All right, let's hear your answer, and I'll keep brainstorming my answer.
Bet he thought he was gonna trip us up, but my answer for this is in the original Parent Trap, the 1960 whatever version. It's not so much it's not a bedroom scene, but it is very it has a lot of sexual tension. It's toward the end of the movie and they're in the kitchen and they're just kind of going back and forth because I think that at this point in the movie they're like still like divorced or whatever or like separated or something. And the guy was supposed to marry some other lady and he doesn't end up marrying her. But so he's back with his like original wife and they have this very intense like exchange and there's sort of like a choreography to it where they're like moving and they're kind of trying to ignore each other but they're also kind of trying to like be near each other. It's very artfully done. So next time you watch it, and the amazing thing about it is it's got like I'd even say like there's like an erotic element to it, but it's also safe for children. So it's kind of it's not an easy thing to do.
Is there a coital rhythm?
Oh sure, yeah. They nailed the coital rhythm on that one.
They nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Did they hammer it?
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Uh-huh.
There might be children listening.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about power tools or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I remember you had mentioned that at one point, and I'm okay with that. I haven't seen that in like forever, so I would have to check it out.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm forgetting some good ones because I'm actually like not totally anti love scene or whatever. Especially like if there's a point to it, if that makes sense.
Well, the point is that people like watching other people do stuff.
Right, but that's not a point, right?
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
That's like comedians who just use a lot of vulgarity just to get people to laugh because you say the vulgar words and people have to laugh because they feel uncomfortable. Like,
yeah, I mean Tarantino just recently said something. He's like, I don't have like bedroom scenes in my movies because I think he said something. He's like, I'm not good at that, and I also don't like. It's not like something that usually helps any movie. I mean, people like it. I mean, because it adds a certain element. But strictly speaking, I mean, it's generally not really needed.
But yet, like a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that movie has something in it where people are loving each other. And it's like, well, I mean, you're going to have to show that sometimes. Like if you're okay with violence being portrayed, like you have to be okay with other parts of life being portrayed. So anyway, I was thinking and I'm like, well, I've got some like favorite movies that have like romantic scenes in them. Notably the fountain bathtub scene. Also the end of The Fifth Element in the chamber. But those aren't particularly like amazing like love scenes necessarily. The fountain's not bad, but like it's well put together and you can kind of like you feel the passion or whatever. So I started thinking broader, and one movie, and I don't know if it's a love scene, but it captures the youthful essence of falling in love like for the first time very well. And it has to do with another topic we might address later because it's probably part of the vulgar wave. And that would be The Girl Next Door from 2004. Have you seen that movie?
I'm aware of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, so it came out and it was kind of like billed as like it's a teen movie and everybody should see it. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, this guy's gonna get laid. That it's that kind of movie, right?
Yeah, there's a
But
lot of
then
those in the
like,
90s.
I don't remember when I first watched it. I probably watched it out of teenage curiosity, to be fully honest. But then
Yeah.
it was like, it's not like, so there's some like random like boob scenes they throw in, but I think they're not in like every version of the edit or whatever. So like, I don't think I saw that version or whatever.
Those movies were all about versions. There was always
Yeah.
like the not for theaters version.
Unrated, unfiltered.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, but the movie itself is kind of like a very earnest coming of age film, kind of more reminiscent of like your like John Cusack 80s movies and stuff like that, like your kind of 80s teen movies. And it's done really well, and kind of the tension between the main protagonist and the girl is really well done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so it's like better than you would think.
Well, maybe I'll pull up dailymotion.com and check that one out. Check out that
Yeah.
scene only. That scene only.
No, and it's not like I'm not even pointing to a specific scene necessarily, and I don't necessarily remember. Like I'd probably say the pool scene is the best one, but yeah.
Okay. Just the movie in general captures
The movie in general.
love and lust of teenagers.
Yes.
Okay, next question. We got a guy named Howard Algo at Algo Howard, and he is asking about 1990 Ninja Turtles movie.
Just that's the question.
Well, because some people are just listing a movie. They're basically saying like comment on
it's
the
like
movie.
one of my favorite movies.
Tell us more.
I'm always quoting it. I always say, "Nice night." Yep. That's, I don't know if you remember that part.
I didn't know that was from that.
Well, I mean, I don't know it's from it, but I always say it. Because they're just sitting waiting for the pizza to come.
Yeah.
Pizza dude's got 15 seconds. I don't know, man. It's like a perfect movie. The original one. 2 is much more silly. The first one is actually like kind of dark for a kids movie. Like I don't know if you've watched it recently, but like
no, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, it's like surprisingly dark. Like there's definitely like silly slapstick stuff in it, but like for most of it, it's like, the rat is being tortured to death, and like there's like discord between the turtles, and they're like fighting and turning on each other, and yeah, but it's like it's such a good movie, such a good feel. I don't think any Turtles movie has surpassed it. Although the new Turtles trailer looks good.
Yeah, I remember this old one. I remember liking it a lot. I remember, wanting to fight like them and to hurt people and stuff. And but I don't really remember it. Like I'd love to watch it. I'd love to watch it.
Oh, I could like quote every line from it.
All right. Yeah, let's
I even remember the commercial on the VHS before. It was a Pizza Hut commercial where a little league team was playing baseball, and then they went and got Pizza Hut.
Okay, so there we go. 1990 Ninja Turtles is good. We like it. We got a user named Gila saying Mean Girls. What is there to say about Mean Girls? Well, I like Mean Girls. I think it's funny. It's a little bit like, it's one of those things I think where if you saw it for the first time now, it would not feel fresh because so many, but I feel like a lot of people just copied Mean Girls. So, but when it came out, I thought it was really good. It was Tina Fey. So some of like the SNL humor, but for a teen audience.
Yeah. Also part of the vulgar wave. Lindsay Lohan in her prime,
Yeah.
um, doing a dance.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan's great. I loved Lindsay Lohan at that age, and at this age. Um,
Like her age now.
oh, actually, I don't know. That was kind of as a joke. I haven't seen her lately.
Yeah.
I heard she's gone through some
At
some
your
hard
age.
times. Yeah,
Yeah, she's looking a little rough. Little dried out, little Robert Redford-ish.
yeah,
She's a little squeezed out.
yeah. But yeah, she was good, and I think the main girl in that movie, not the main girl, but the villain,
McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Yeah, isn't she like 29 or something when they actually made that movie?
Something like that, yeah.
Or no, maybe she's not that old because I guess but yeah, she was like way super old. Um, and I think Lindsay Lohan was actually around the age of a high schooler. She was like 17 or something.
Yeah. 29 is super old.
Yeah, I don't think she's really 29, but Rachel, I'm just gonna look this up. Rachel McAdams' age in 2004, 26. She's born in 1978, and I think, and it says Lindsay Lohan was born in 86, I think. Anyway, so yeah, she was super old. Anything else to say about Mean Girls other than Rachel McAdams was old?
No, but definitely like that's another movie that's like better than it needed to be. Meaning like they would have made the same amount of money making a much worse film, but like a lot of great jokes in it. A lot of it's an enjoyable movie, and I feel like a lot of like guys our age see it as like a girls movie, but I'm like I don't know what universe you live in, but all right.
Yeah. Um, here's a movie, or here's a question from Mertz Grungus.
Oh, a classic Mertz
Yeah,
Grungus question.
the infamous Mertz Grungus.
Get ready to get grungified.
Go into the Grungus zone. Favorite movie about a retarded guy or favorite Scorsese?
Have you heard of Martin Scorsese's film The Retarded?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And that one has Mark Wahlberg in it. Mark Wahlberg, what he's he's got Downs, right?
For sure.
So
some kind of learning disability.
Yeah. So okay, I guess the classic answer is what, like Rain Man. I mean, Kim Peek is not retarded. He's just
right. If you're using the broad sense of the word, I guess.
Yeah.
He's autistic.
Sean Penn in I Am Sam. I thought that was kind of a dumb movie.
I liked the soundtrack.
Yeah, it had a good soundtrack. It's all like acoustic Beatles or something, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Covers.
Yeah.
Then there's the one with
Leo in Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, Gilbert Grape. And then there's the comedy one with
The Ringer, I think it's
The
called.
Ringer.
Yeah, with what's his name? Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville. I wanted to call him Johnny Deppville.
Yeah, that Johnny Knoxville is another one that kind of punches above its weight. Like it's like one of those like kind of intentionally bad, not intentionally, but it's like a bad movie, but it's pretty good.
No, I actually have an answer to this that might relate to something we wanted to talk about elsewhere.
Yeah.
Good Time.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
right?
You just watched Good Time. We both watched Good Time.
Excellent retarded character, really well done, and excellent movie.
Yeah. Good Time is cool. I think the director of the movie plays the retarded guy.
Yeah, one of the brothers who directed the movies is plays the retarded guy, and apparently it was like a character he played like growing up just with his brother. He would start acting like that in public and make his brother like act around it.
Yeah. It's an interesting movie. I mean, it's not for if you need a movie to have a kind of like a really.
It's not relaxing.
Yeah, it's a bit stressful, and it doesn't have like a. I guess it doesn't have a happy ending. I don't. Maybe
it kind of does have a happy ending, but yeah, it's not like it's not a traditional story for sure. It's kind of a different kind of story. and it's a bit tense at times, but I do feel like it is fun.
Yeah, you got Robert Pattinson doing probably the most interesting character of his career. He plays like a uh, smooth talking Long Island. I don't know what you. I don't know exactly.
Con man, low level criminal.
Yeah, and I think they're Greek. I think they have Greek names, so that's just some
Hmm.
flavor. These two Greek brothers. Yeah, he plays the brother of the handicapped boy, and they hijinks ensue. They get in trouble. They do crime.
And you say boy, but he's like 6'2" or something. Like
Yeah,
he seems like a big guy.
yeah. So anyway, those are some movies about guys with Down syndrome or similar conditions. As for Scorsese, I don't know what is my favorite Scorsese. The Aviator? No, just kidding.
My favorite that I haven't seen would be Silence.
Yeah,
Oh, I'd probably just say Taxi Driver, but
yeah, it might be Taxi Driver for me, but I'm just looking over the list. It's probably Goodfellas. Yeah, it's Goodfellas. That's my favorite one. Maybe this Killers of the Flower Moon will be good, but I'm not super optimistic.
no.
I'm sure it'll be. I do think it'll be good, but I don't think it'll be like his older stuff.
But yeah, Taxi Driver is actually good.
Okay, we got a question from Stalfos 23. Maybe he's Greek as well. Stalfos.
Yeah,
Um, Best looking food or food scene in a movie.
I got it.
Yeah,
Um, and this is one that I haven't seen done on like those cooking shows where it's like I cooked the meal from the movie. But it's from the movie Hook with Robin Williams. Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
the weird what is that stuff like cream they throw at each
Yeah,
other?
it's like weird invisible cream of like
Colorful.
multicolored. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
and like
curious
it's
what that
like
was.
some kind of fantasy food, but it's just like it's probably just like dyed whipped cream. But but I was as a
Yeah,
kid, I'm like, man, I want to try whatever that goo is.
yeah. No, I remember it too. It was it left a impression on me. It was like what is that? It's kind of like you ever see Superman ice cream?
No,
I don't know if that's the name that other people use, but maybe that's just like a regional name. Let me look that up. Superman ice cream. No, that's like a thing. Okay, Superman ice cream is like red, yellow, and blue.
yeah,
But it's the colors are very vibrant usually, and that's what those that stuff in Hook reminded me of. But more of a moose, I guess.
yep, yep. Honorable mention to the sandwich scene in Spanglish. Oh, I have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Another '90s movie, House Guest with Sinbad and Phil Hartman. And there's a scene he's pretending to be a vegan,
Oh
and
yeah,
Sinbad is, and he gets a Big Mac and steals it from Phil Hartman and just starts devouring it.
yeah,
Me and my brother always want a Big Mac after watching that scene.
yeah. We talked about that on a previous episode.
Yeah, we probably did. It's a favorite scene.
Go back and listen to all of our old episodes.
Yeah, comment. This is one of the surprises. You have to go find it. The first person to find it wins a big
Yeah,
prize.
get the time. Someone go find the timestamp. I will give you $5. The other thing we talked about back then too is, and this always bothers me in movies how you know when you're filming a movie, I get it. You don't want to just keep eating because you're gonna have to do the scene. You might have to do the scene 20 times. You can't just eat every time. But it always bugs me how like no one ever actually eats in a movie. And like the plates are always just sort of like half full. Even in like 5 minutes later, it's still half full, and that always bugged me.
Yeah, yeah. I started watching. Have I talked about on the podcast how I'm a Pugh fan?
Florence Pugh,
Florence Pugh.
um, she's come up. What's your take on
Well,
Florence Pugh?
she's apparently like a big foodie. Like she cooks and stuff, and has done like some guest spots on like cooking YouTube shows.
Yeah,
But apparently there's a scene in Hawkeye, the Disney Plus series, where she's eating macaroni and cheese, and she said she just was eating it and was
Huh.
eating way too much. So
Well,
I
good
was
for
like,
her.
all right.
Brad Pitt was always like eating in movies. He's always eating a. I mean, I think Ocean's 11. He's like eating
Yeah, that's like a meme.
a burger or whatever.
Oh, and one more Pew fact. When she laughs in real life, she has like a big like smoker cough laugh
Oh, really?
because I think she's a smoker. But I didn't know that until like I saw interviews of her because I think they cut it out of any movies she's in. So I think that's funny.
Huh. Here's a question. I know about this. I don't know if you do, but I'll fill you in if you don't. So the question is from Max at Keep It Maximum. He says, "Is Hillcoat, who made The Proposition and The Road, the right director for for Blood Meridian, the Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian?" So I have read Blood Meridian, and I'm actually reading it again right now. When this news came out, I saw a bunch of people who were like, "No, this is sacrilege. He's not worthy of directing this movie because Blood Meridian is so important, and he's just not good enough." And I've not seen The Proposition, but I've heard good things about it. But I think the reaction a lot of people had was I don't like that reaction. I think I've seen The Road and it's pretty good, but I mean, sure, like maybe he'll screw it up, but I don't I assume he could do it. I don't know enough about him really, but I think he could do it. Maybe he won't. Maybe it'll suck, but I didn't like the response of people just sort of like, no, this is sacrilege. Like only the Coen brothers should be allowed to make
Right.
Cormac McCarthy movies or something.
I mean, I'm a fan of my, auteur directors, for sure, Coen Brothers and etc. Wes Anderson. Do they have Wes Anderson do it? Um, but you know, I think I would like to see like smaller time directors just be given a chance to see what they can do with it.
Yeah, that's another part of my thing too. Is I when they announce like a remake of a classic movie or a beloved movie, and people get mad, they're like, "No, you can't do that. It's like you're gonna ruin the old." It's like, no, you're not ruining the old one. The old one's still there. It's still good. And like, I don't really care if someone makes another one. If it sucks, I just won't watch it, or I will watch it once and just it's not gonna ruin the old one for me. So I don't really care if people want to make multiple versions of things. I mean,
Well, yeah, we were talking about this in the movie chat, the coveted movie chat.
yeah,
Um, in regards to Dune, because people were like, "Oh, Denis Villeneuve isn't good enough for Dune or isn't right for Dune," but I'm like, no, like I'm good with his version of it, but like I just want more Dune. Let's get Wes Anderson Dune. Let's get Quentin Tarantino Dune.
yeah,
Like why do you want to like keep it hidden? I guess like
yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing different people's takes
I
on
get
on
the
stuff I like.
I get the thing where it's like, um, you can only make Dune every 20 or 30 years, like just from a market
Well, sure.
perspective. You can only make big budget Dune every 20 to 30 years because it's just no one's going to fund it, right? So I get that where it's like, oh no, you got the wrong guy to do the $200 million or $150 million Dune.
Yeah, if
Like,
you only have a once in a lifetime chance at seeing it, yeah. But I mean, I guess I'm talking hypothetically.
yeah,
In a world where like directors just got to do one movie a year of whatever they wanted.
yeah. I've always been. I mean, I think what would be really cool. They can't do this for money reasons, but I've always thought it'd be cool if two directors had to make the exact same script. Like, gave them the same budget and just like
Right.
let's see the two versions. Like, let's see what happens. And they're not allowed to like talk to each other or whatever. That would be interesting to me.
They should do that.
Yeah, and that's what the Lord of the Rings stuff. I kind of thought it was. I guess maybe this is just a business thing. This is these are the rights that Amazon could get or whatever. But when they made that new show, I would way rather they just make Lord of the Rings again. Just do it again. Like, and I like Peter Jackson's version, but like, let's just do it again. Let's just see what we come up with again. And obviously that particular creative team would have done a bad job, it seems like, um, but I would, let's get Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Let's let someone else good do it again too.
Yeah.
We got user Tan Zed of MIB. Oh yeah, that's a great Men in Black reference. He wants to hear our explanation for why Bill the Butcher, I assume from Gangs of New York, Daniel Day-Lewis, why Bill the Butcher did nothing wrong. Well, this is not a position I've ever thought about, but
What did he do?
Well, if I remember the movie correctly,
I saw it when it came out, but like I'm not a Gangs of New York head.
If I remember it correctly, if I remember the movie and my history correctly, he's like a America First guy.
Oh, he is.
And he doesn't they object to the Catholics and the Irish Catholics that are moving in. So I guess that's probably why Tan Zed is interested in this. I guess I guess this comes down to where you stand on the Irish question. So,
well, and so he was named a butcher because that's what he did for a living.
Yes, and I think he is in the movie an actual butcher, and he's also a gang leader who likes to use knives on people. So,
well, that's not very nice.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, sure. I don't have a. I don't know. I wish I had a good take on this one. Kind of a fun movie. I don't love it, but fun. I might have misrepresented it too. I don't even really. I think that was Bill the Butcher's. I think he just didn't like Catholics.
I mean, in the narrative of the film, I think he was just the bad guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was getting in between Leo and Cameron Diaz.
Is that who's in it?
Yeah, I think, and she's widely ridiculed for her like goofy accent and stuff.
Yeah. 1990s Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see why she got cast, but I don't think she was up to the regular standards of Scorsese. Sorry, Tanzette. I wish I had a better answer for you. Then we got Bowtied Starman at Bowtied Starman. It says, please review Brokeback Mountain in honor of National Day of the Cowboy next month. Well, I've never actually seen Brokeback Mountain. Have to confess, I've not seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And that's, I know that's surprising because I'm an ally, of course. Everyone on this show is an ally.
Yep.
We all support Pride Month and Target. I buy Target stock all the time. Yeah, maybe next month we'll review Brokeback Mountain. Probably won't though.
I do love westerns.
Yeah. Actually, it's something I was thinking about recently is Gyllenhaal. It's really amazing that he was able to get the stink of Brokeback Mountain off. Like, no one, for a while, everyone was joking about that movie.
Granted, there are children listening.
Oh, I just mean, the figurative stink of. I also don't presume to know what role he played in that relationship. I haven't seen the movie, so.
What would you guess? No, I'm just kidding.
But anyway, it's amazing that he didn't get it wasn't like a career ruiner, It wasn't just like he's still able to play like masculine roles and stuff, and that was it's kind of amazing. Testament to his ability.
Well, pretty soon he'll be a they themer,
Yeah. We got a question from Scott at .gif. I've heard of him. He asks, how do you define action movie? I'll let you take a stab at this.
I'm not one to be super prescriptive on stuff like this, but I would say an action movie is a movie where its primary draw is the action. Now, to a certain extent, what I'm describing is a good action movie where the action is what you're there for, and that's what's done really well.
Yeah. You know what I think?
Hmm.
I think the action is the juice. Um,
Yeah.
you know what's something funny actually? Did you ever see that movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so they made a TV show of Shooter,
Uh-huh.
and I've been watching it. Just very like this was not like a very conscious choice. Somehow I just started watching it, and I've watched like the first season. And it's not very good. Um, and they follow the movie for a while, and then it gets more complicated. But uh, Tom Sizemore is in that movie or in that show, and you know him from Heat. He's the action is the juice guy. And
Hmm.
there's a scene in the Shooter, the show made in like 2016 or something like that, where someone says to him, "You don't have the juice," and it's like I mean, it was very. It's obviously intentional. Like it's a little joke for all the Sizemore heads in the audience. But defining an action movie, yeah, I mean, I guess I'd go with the same thing. I mean, an action movie's got to have, there's not a specific number, but numerous scenes that are action oriented, where there's
It could be a fight scene, a car chase, explosion, a gunfight,
and
a chase.
to some extent hand to hand melee, but that's a little different. If
Uh-huh.
that's all that's in your movie, then it's not an action movie. It's like
Well,
a
it could. I would consider it a subgenre of action, which would be a
yeah.
like a
Maybe
martial arts movie.
if some of the fights like end in a guy jumping out a window or something.
Okay,
The guy has to fall on top of a car. Um,
that's
for
the
it,
definition.
yeah, an action movie is when a guy falls on top of a car and lives and doesn't get hurt.
Do you have like best action movie, not best movie best movie that also happens to be an action movie, but like best action movie?
Yeah, and I was just when I think about it, T2, Terminator 2,
Mm.
which you could say is that's a sci-fi or whatever, like, but as pure action, that's like possibly the greatest action movie ever.
Well,
Um,
my opinion is Mad Max Fury Road.
yeah, I can see that. It's like not. It's like action. It's a lot of action.
Like really there's nothing to the movie other than action, and it's almost nonstop without getting um tiresome in that, like, that's the problem with a lot of these newer Fast and the Furious movies, is that you're just kind of just watching a wash of colors and shapes go across the screen. It moves
Hmm.
into kind of the world of abstraction. Whereas in Fury Road, it's like it's very concrete what's happening when and where people are going, and then like what their goals are, and all that stuff. So when I saw that in theaters, I was just like blown away at like the pace of it and how it was able to kind of keep your interest without even having much dialogue at all. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, of
yeah.
a pure action film, I put that at number one.
I'm looking at a list online of best action movies, and it's like number 11, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's like I think okay, well, that's action and adventure. That's got an adventure element. I don't know if
I would
it's
count it, and it's good, but yeah, I feel like it has been surpassed.
well, it was only number 11 on there, but they had T2 at like 16, which they have Mad
Uh-huh.
Max at Fury Road is number 1.
Oh, all right.
Well, there you go.
Well, you know what else? The newer Mission Impossible ones, especially the Henry Cavill one, I actually think they're great examples of action films.
They really are. Yeah,
But that's also partially why there's not really any rewatchability to those movies.
yeah. Okay, yeah, action movie. An action movie is when a guy falls on a car. Um, let's see.
And in Mad Max, they fall into a car with spikes and blow up and use silver spray paint on their teeth.
Yeah. We got a question from Hot Buttered Popcorn, locked account at Popcorn Hot. So if you want to see this question, you got to follow him. And you should follow everyone who asked a question.
Censor the question when you edit it, so that way they have to figure out what the question was.
Yeah. He says, "What's a movie generally beloved that you hated, plus a movie generally hated that you love?" There's lots. This happens all the time for me.
Yeah, same. Let me try to think of one. And I mean, the easy answer would be like Marvel or whatever, but like they're kind of equally loved and hated. So
Yeah. Well, I guess okay. So the one that is beloved, that I hated, we talked about it here already, which is the new one, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
yeah, that one came to mind. Definitely dislike that movie.
Yeah, I had a very strong negative reaction to that, I think I gave it a chance. I think I was fair and open minded. I just thought it sucked.
This is going to be bad for me. So there was a lot of comedies that came out. So like I feel like there was a transition point where there was kind of like 90s comedies. You remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like this guy is turned into a cat. Now we got to do something. And it's, you know, the plots were kind of dumb. And then they kind of went into this space where it was almost like surreal comedies or something.
Yeah.
But there was a few, and I tried to watch them, and I'm like, I do not get this. So one of them was Step Brothers, which I found some appreciation for. Like, there's funny parts to that, but I was not like one who was like quoting everything in Step Brothers. I'm like, it's fine. Like the drum scene is funny, but
yeah. One challenge to this question is it's like critics often, if you're just gonna like search like the Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, critics often hate a movie, but everyone likes it. I'm trying to think more of ones that audiences seem to like that I don't like, or vice versa.
That would be mine, like Step Brothers, and then the other one was is it like something Friends?
What's the Friends song? I'll be there for you.
I Love You, Man. That was one
that you liked?
I didn't care for.
My problem is I just don't remember if people liked or disliked it. I don't know.
Well, when I got back to the States, everyone was like, "You gotta see Step Brothers, I Love You, Man," and then here's the other one, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh yeah,
and it was like a task. It was like homework for me. I'm like,
those are all like the Judd Apatow. It sounds like Judd Apatow is you're allergic to.
I like some Judd Apatow, but yeah, all of those, like I guess the Apatow naissance, I was like not a part of. I'm just like, I don't get this, and like, but yeah, everybody was like, these are the funniest movies, man. You're gonna laugh so hard at the part where the guy shows his wiener. And I'm like, I didn't want to see that. I don't like that part. It's not a good part.
Well, I'm gonna think more about this question. Maybe we'll do it on like another episode or something. But
all right,
and I'll edit that together. Hopefully.
What was the other side of it though? Movie you just like that most people don't?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I mean, I know
there's lots of them. I know there's lots of them, but yeah, you like The Fountain.
I like a lot of movies people don't like.
Yeah. We got a question from Logan J. Sicot. I think that's how you say it. Sicot, Esquire, attorney at law.
No, it's Chicote. It's Italian.
Yeah, Cicote. He says, "Why didn't you invite me?" Well,
couldn't pronounce your name.
Yeah, your agent didn't give us your information. I would have had him on, but
yeah.
Here's one from @Fiverr MacGyver. I like that show MacGyver, by the way. Yeah, I watched it a lot as a kid. The old MacGyver, it's good. It was, he didn't use a gun, so instead he just like killed people with like electrical currents or something. But he says, "Where does Air Bud land on the pantheon of pet sports films?" Well, I'll tell you this: it's no Secondhand Lions. Which probably isn't a sports film, but it is a pet film or an animal film.
Yeah.
And it's probably the greatest movie ever.
Probably Seabiscuit beats it.
Well, are those pets, though? A horse, you can't a horse is not a pet.
A horse isn't a pet?
No, a horse is something more than a pet.
All right.
here's my pet horse. Does anyone say that? Actually, I think people do actually say that.
Yeah,
But
people say that. I mean, I guess Seabiscuit wasn't like a pet; he was like a racehorse. But
yeah, Seabiscuit had a job. I think this
but like,
category.
what's a better? Have we done a recent animal sports film? I mean, I know there's like Air Buddies, like 17,
Air Bud 2, yeah.
I mean, talking animal films are a big mainstay of my household, being that we're a Homeward Bound household.
Yeah,
but yeah, Air Buddies is not good.
I don't think Air Bud talks. I think he just
he doesn't.
I think
the Air Buddies do though.
Air Bud does his talking on the field. He leaves it all out on the field.
He does. What was the sport in the first Air Bud? Basketball?
Air Jordan.
Yeah, because there was like a football one at some point, I think.
Yeah, Air Golden Receiver, yeah. Air Bud Golden Receiver. Pets that started playing sports, yeah. Air Bud might on the pantheon. It might be the top or whatever.
I'd say Hoosiers.
Is there pets in Hoosiers?
Yeah.
There's animal husbandry in that movie, but
there's Gene Hackman.
Yeah, he was an animal back then.
He's an animal
in the 80s. Yeah. There's some stories.
Hold on. Is there a pet in Hoosiers? No, I'm just kidding.
There are some stories about Gene Hackman in the 80s in Cancun. They'll blow you away. Crazy stories.
The second listed, if you search pet sports films, the second movie listed is Cool Runnings.
I searched pets playing sports movies.
It's also got the Mighty Ducks, and it does list Seabiscuit.
Okay. Well, I googled pets playing sports movies. Here's the list: Air Bud series, Air Buddies, Air Bud Golden Receiver, Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch, Air Bud Spikes Back, Air Bud World Pup, and Animal Olympics.
Well, if Mighty Ducks counts, I'll put that at the top. And Cool Runnings too.
Here's a Wikipedia page. List of films about horse racing. Yeah, any horse racing movie would be in there. What is Snow Buddies? Oh, that's like another.
It's just all Air Buddies.
What about dog racing? Like,
is there a dog racing?
Sled racing? Yeah.
Oh,
there's a few. Yeah.
I was thinking like Greyhounds.
Yeah, those are probably pretty depressing movies, but
right. Like I was like, I guess like there's got to be like some pit bull. Oh, yeah. It's No Country for Old Men.
There's lots of pit bulls dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there cockfighting movies? Filipino cockfighting movies.
Speaking of which, we have two roosters, and they fight sometimes, and it is entertaining to watch.
Yeah, but you shouldn't let them.
No, yeah, we keep them separated, but
like that Offspring song, "Keep Them Separated."
Yeah, is that who sings it?
Yeah, yeah. There's one more. I'm not equipped to answer it, but which is a better film, Seven Samurai or 13th Warrior?
Probably Seven Samurai.
That's from @TTE Claude, CLOD.
Did you see Drew's question, or are we just ignoring it?
Oh, maybe I missed it. Most libtarded movie you enjoyed. And that's from @FractalFriend.
Mine would be Noah.
A lot of libtarded movies are actually, are at least entertaining. Possibly the most libtarded movie of all time is Forrest Gump, and I think it's goofy, but I enjoyed watching it. A couple times when I was younger. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like this is evidence Drew hasn't been listening to our podcast.
Because we like lots of libtarded movies.
Well, because because we basically are saying like the movies in and of themselves, maybe they're made by a libtard, but they're not libtarded.
Well, I think in the case of Forrest Gump, it is a libtarded movie. Like it's like the entire movie
Well, yeah,
is
yeah. Like some
is
movies are libtarded, right? But
yeah. The
go
entire
ahead.
the entire thing with Forrest Gump is it's like the myth of the boomer. Like
Yeah.
it's he's going from like one boomer like watershed moment to another, and they're always portrayed. They're always portrayed as just as cool and fun and fat and like this was like America was really grown up under the boomer. America grew up with the boomer, and Forrest Gump was right there for all of it, and it was all good. Even the part where his girlfriend gets AIDS. Uh,
Yeah, a lot of women died of AIDS in the 80s, right? And 90s.
I wouldn't say it was mostly women, but some, yeah.
Oh, I do. This is actually mine. It's a good one, too. Motorcycle Diaries.
Say more.
Have you seen it?
I think so, but I'm not remembering it very well.
If you haven't, like, you need to watch it. It's so good, especially um, if you've spent time abroad. It's a great travel movie.
No, I haven't seen it. Is this like a Pan America Highway thing or something?
Kind of, but it's a dramatization of the motorcycle road trip that Che Guevara, Ernesto Che Guevara, went
Uh-huh.
on from Buenos Aires to Colombia. Um, and so it kind of is like to a certain extent, it like it's about Che Guevara, but it doesn't show any of his like political um actions or anything, but it shows him he kind of travels around doing young guy stuff, and then he starts encountering more and more like poverty in Latin America and stuff like that, and that kind of makes him sympathetic to the cause of the poor, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not even like the main part of the movie, and it's more so just like a journey and a coming of age story. But it's so well done. It's so well shot. It's all in Spanish, and I saw it before I spoke Spanish, and I liked it. But it's even better if you speak Spanish. And yeah, really great film. Uh, the introduction or kind of the film that made Gael Garcia Bernal big. And yeah, I highly recommend this movie.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it, but yes, I will watch it.
But yeah, it's about Che Guevara, so it's libtarded.
Yeah. We're out of questions. That was actually good. I like the questions.
Yeah, it worked good.
To get more for another one.
Oh, what was the surprise?
Uh, that was your that was your job. I don't know.
No, I got it. One second. One of the surprises is I'm Cool Frazier and I'm listening.
Oh yeah, you forgot to do that. I forgot to introduce you.
I didn't forget it. I was saving it as a surprise
Oh,
because
okay.
everyone was going to be like, "Oh, he forgot to say it." They were gonna call me on it.
Yeah.
Um, the surprise is that Zazie Beats is going to
Yeah.
be
No
in
one.
Joker Part Two.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah, and she's also in an episode of Black Mirror this year. So
There's still
look for
there's
her there.
the surprise for me is that they're still making Black Mirror. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either, but she's in the episode titled Maisie Day.
But you
Zazie
got
Beats is in Maisie Day.
yeah, you learned that from the Zazie Beats newsletter.
Yeah, I'm subscribed. I'm part of the fan club. It's just a
Yeah.
private Facebook group where we all talk about Zazie Beats.
Yeah.
My friend in there, Joe, he's so funny, man.
He's a real Zazie head.
Oh, he's a huge Zay's head, as we call him. And yeah, he's always sharing funny quotes.
Um. Okay. Yeah. Let's wrap it up there because it is late where I am. So we had other stuff, but those questions were good.
Yeah, I think we hit it.
Yeah. Anything else for the kids at home?
Don't watch any of those love scenes, folks.
Yeah. Don't go online and look up love scenes. I want to know Dr. Bennett's favorite love scene.
Yeah, everybody answer now. Go answer the questions in the replies to Granite's tweet, and if you answer the question and have the most likes, you win a prize.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining, people. This was fun. Later.